here's the simple hack on how to deal with overwhelm in 5 minutes. So if you're anything like me, you have all these areas of responsibility in your life. You have your family, your wife and kids. You have your business that you are looking to expand and grow. You have the church and also your personal responsibilities of your spiritual and your physical needs. So how do you juggle everything so that you don't deal with overwhelm? And this is the problem. A lot of people go about it by getting your to-do list like OmniFocus or Things 3 and then end up getting a huge list of 50 things or more once again, and now they're stuck. How do you get to the place where you can be clear on exactly what you need to work on to gain the momentum needed to move forward? And this is how you're going to not be overwhelmed. The very first thing is you need to define your areas of responsibility. And what this means is, what is it in your life that you are responsible over? And so like we already mentioned, you have family, we have personal, business, let's call it church. And under each of these areas, under personal, you have spiritual responsibilities and you also have physical responsibilities. Going to the gym, spiritually reading the Bible, reading some books, growing as a person. In your family, you got to take care of your wife. You got to take care of the kids. You got to take care of spiritually leading your home, being the shepherd. In your business, you're thinking about leads, you're thinking about marketing, you're thinking about fulfillment. And so you have all of these things that are going on. And then in the church, you have home fellowship groups, you have discipleship going on. And so as you look at these areas of responsibilities, they're never ending. Like I feel like I'm always stuck and behind. I can't move forward. What are you going to do? What do you do? So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to sit down. Step number 1 is you're going to sit down and you are going to write down everything that you need to do in all of these areas. Now, this is going to take some time. And the first time that I did it, it took me 1 hour. I literally went through all of my Things 3 tasks. I purged a ton of them. And then I started thinking of all the things that are in my mind, what I still need to accomplish. And I started writing them down. And I started first with family. And I said, what do I need to do in my family? And I started writing a list. Okay, I need to do family worship daily. Okay, I need to do the finances in our home. Okay, I need to do XYZ, date night with kids, whatever it is, right? And the list keeps going and going. Now, you do the same thing then for your other area of responsibility. Let's say personal. I need to go to the gym. I need to read 20 minutes a day. I need to do taxes. And you keep going down the list. Now, what do you do after you're done? You might end up having 30 or 50 items in each list. And this is where a lot of people fail, because overwhelm comes not from the amount of tasks you need to do, but having clarity on which tasks to focus on next. You see, there's these open loops in our brain. And so what happens is that when these items are just floating around, but they're not connected to a deadline, they're not connected to our calendar, it seems extremely overwhelming, like we cannot accomplish this task. But what you need to do, on the other hand, is you need to take your list that you have now created in your family life, in your personal life, and now you need to enumerate it. So now, out of all these 50 things that I need to do for my family, what is the number 1 thing? So you're going to go down the list. This is number 1. This is number 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. You're going to do the same thing for your personal life. 1, 3, whatever. You're going to have 100 of them. And then what you're going to do, you're going to organize them. And as you're organizing the priority of each of these items and each of these lists that you have, personal, business, church, family, you're going to start seeing what is the most important task. And so now in step number 2, you have all of your tasks ordered by priority. And you know exactly which one you need to work on next. Now, what you need to do is you cannot move on to the next task until you finish the first task. So first, we're going to do the taxes. And no matter how long these taxes take, whether it takes 1 hour or it takes 7 days, you do not move on to the next task unless you finish the first one. And what this is going to do, it's actually going to now close that open loop that you had about taxes, and it's going to give you momentum moving into your next item. So you finish your taxes, now we're moving on to cleaning the garage. You finish cleaning the garage, that gives you now momentum to establish a weekly date night with your wife. But now you're free to go on the date night because you got your fear things first done. You got your big items done. You ate that frog. Fear things first is this idea that you got to do the most scary things first before you move on to something else. And then Once that is all complete, so you can go and lastly finish the hole in the wall. So this is how you're going to deal with overwhelm in 5 minutes. Now, it's not going to take you only 5 minutes to do, but this is just the beginning of how it gets started. You can also take all of these items and put them on a calendar. And so if you have a calendar and you have your days, you can put in a time block of when you're actually going to accomplish these tasks. Now, why is this more beneficial than creating a task list? Number one, it clarifies in your mind what is the exact next step that you need to do. And this is the issue with overwhelm. When you don't know your exact next step, your body and mind go into retreat. And all of a sudden, you're just floating around. Oh, I have so much to do. I have a huge list, but you don't know what's the next item. That's number one. And that's where procrastination begins. And what that does, that procrastination builds on itself and you keep looking at your list but not taking action. The second thing that enumerating your list and organizing in priority does is it builds momentum. And friends, it's all about momentum. Who cares about discipline? Discipline is only going to get you so far. Let me actually draw out how this works for you. So the way that this works is that you have inspiration is what often gets us started. Oh, I'm going to do my taxes. I'm going to finish it in 2 days. Inspiration is then picked up by discipline. Discipline needs to keep going. If inspiration looks something like this and it fizzles off, discipline looks something like this. It's constant and it's there. And then once discipline happens and you're consistently doing it, this is when you hit the best place and you hit momentum. And momentum is seeing is believing. So you believe to see something happen, and then as you're doing it, you see it happen and you believe more that I can happen. I can kill that to-do list that's 100 items long. And this is the wonderful place to be in, is in a place of momentum. All right, guys, that's one tip and trick that you can use to tackle your to-dos and organize your life. If you're looking for some more help, I have a free community that helps men create an impact in their families, in their lives, in their workplaces, in their community through integrity, building a life of integrity. And one of the ways that you can actually live a life of integrity is learn how to keep your emotions under control. And the way you learn how to keep your emotions under control is actually by working on procrastination and finishing your to-do list and not feeling like you're stuck behind, leading you to want to run away from that feeling of being stuck and not moving forward. Have a good one.